Hi everyone, this is Shelby from the OhSheep podcast. This is going to be like episode 6, but I'm not sure if I'm going to really count it as an episode. It has been forever since I recorded an episode, and I am so sorry about that. A lot of things have been going on recently. Lots of changes, and I just haven't been able to get into a proper routine yet. So, yeah, a few things. I'm not wearing any makeup. This is bedhead for me. I'm sorry. So if you're ever curious what I look like with no makeup and no effort and in front of really bright snow, this is it. Yeah. I'm actually not this pale, and I don't normally glow like this, but I am going to have to put very minimum effort into this episode, and I'm sorry. But I thought I'd put something up just to like a mini episode just to catch everybody up on things. I'm probably not going to include very much makeup. I didn't bring anything from my room downstairs. I'm shooting in my parents' living room. I have a snow day today from my new job, so that's a thing. Yeah, I finally found a new job. This past week was my first complete week there, but I did put in a few days in the week before that. While I was finishing up my other job. So that's cool. I like it pretty. It's nice. Like I thought I would never feel good about having a boring adult office job, but compared to restaurant work and the place that I was working at, it's a lot better. Like I can just sort of do my own thing and not have to worry about other people. I don't have to I don't have to interact with people if I don't want to, which is horrible sounding. Hold on just a second. Someone just texted me and oh, it's Maddie. Hold on a second. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Uh when someone texts me, it's usually like my parents, but if it's not, I'm like someone besides my parents wants to talk to me. Anyway, so I have a new job. I'm a post closer at a mortgage company. So I just it's a very basic job. It's just sort of checking over legal documents, making sure everything is like correct and logging things into a computer and like taking and scanning lots of documents for digital filing and then sending them back to the places they need to go and also doing literal filing. So it's not too bad. It keeps me occupied. Like the whole time I'm there, it goes by a lot faster than my other jobs, where it's like, in a restaurant, you're either super fast or you're dead. And most of the time it's dead. And you're just like trying to find something to do, and usually it involves cleaning, and who wants to clean? Not me. I don't clean. But at my new job, I always have something to do, and like when I'm doing it, it feels like I'm doing something. Like I have literal like, oh, this has been done, this is done, this is done, and then send it off, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't been recording lately. It's just because I'm very much a creature of habit and routine, and if I am thrown off in any way, it's like just like a spiraling tailspin of it takes me a little while to stabilize again. So that's one reason. I'm not trying to give excuses, but I'm trying to like explain. And also this is shaking because I'm putting it like on the couch. Yeah, sorry about that. I'll try not to flail about too much. I'll scoot back a little bit. So yeah, so that's a thing that's happened. Yeah, so I haven't, and one of the reasons, as I was transitioning from one job to the other, my old job, the lady decided to cut back my hours significantly because I insisted on my So this is what happened. I'll get into like the knitting stuff in just a minute. I'm just doing personal stuff first. If you want, you can just skip ahead. I'm sorry. I'm. It's gonna be a ranty kind of video, very personal, fluffy. Um, so what happened was, I had a job at Noodles and Company, which is like a casual dining restaurant, and I had that job for about a year. I was a shift manager there, and I was roommates with another shift manager, and like the combination of like the personal things that were going on, and the fact that things were not improving over there because we had like the general manager was asked to leave, essentially. So we had for like a significant amount of time, we only had three managers, including myself, running a three managers for a restaurant is not a good place to be because yeah. So I mean, and then we had a fourth manager, and like things were still like really rocky, and it was just too much for me. I'm like, this was supposed to be an easy job. This was supposed to be where like, sorry, excuse me, I take my year off, I figure out what I need to do with myself, and then I do it. And I figured out what I wanted to do, and I wanted to go to grad school, so I needed to, so I needed time to like prepare for grad school. So right next to Noodles was this bakery, and they were my friend was the manager there, and he's like, "Come over here. He's like, I can give you some really good hours, and you can work like 5 days a week, either opening like mid shift or like 10 to 5, or you can do an opening shift from like 6 to 11." And that was perfect. Like the way that it was set up is that I would, I would do my thing. I'd be done at 11 o'clock in the morning. So I was only there from 6 to 11, 5 days a week. Well, it was more like 6 days a week. I would come on a weekend, and I would just spin the gelato, and that like I'd come in when I wanted to, and did spend the gelato, and then I would just leave when I wanted to. So that was like awesome. I wasn't making all that much money, but I moved back in with my parents, and I was prepping for grad school. I was doing GRE prep like every day for like 3 or 4 hours a day, and it was very like a nice, smooth, steady rhythm for me. And then things started to happen over there. A lot of people left because school started, and then the people that were hired to replace them, we had some issues with people stealing from us, and so they were, fired. And then from there was like a transition of the manager from the other store came in and like started throwing everybody off. I guess you know how it is. Like you get into a place and everyone's got their own routines, and once you like find your niche, and it's good, it's smooth sailing. So when I was doing my opening shift, all I had to do was go in at 6 in the morning. We open at 7. I put the coffee on. I would set up the front. I would bake the pastries, spin the gelato, and generally I might have one or two customers who lived in the apartments right around the area. And like these were regular customers that like I got to know, and I'd be like, oh, they just want a coffee drink in the morning, a cappuccino, whatever. And then once I would finish spinning gelato, setting up the gelato, like 10:55, and then the next person would come in, and I would leave, and it would be good. The only other person I would deal with was one of the back of the house people, and she's a sweetheart, so she was awesome. But then so the new manager, she came in, and then hiring, and then nobody was hired after that, and then it was just I don't think she liked me very much. And then they changed the hours, so it was 9 to 9 instead of 7 to 10. And they knocked out the mid shift, so there was only 2 shifts. So my new shift was from 8 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. which was okay. I mean, I could deal with it. I rolled with it a little bit. Then, then these two new people came in from another store, and she decided that they were going to get precedent over me, and they were new. So they got my shifts, essentially. And for 2 weeks straight, I worked 2 days a week uh, for $8.50 an hour. And I'm like, this just... Because she's like, you can come in and close, and you can do the closing shift. And I'm like, no, I have my availability. I changed it from 6 to 11 to 8 to 2, and I mean, I didn't want to, what she was trying to do is have me, open, close, open, close, open, close, do that, horrible, like, I didn't want to do that because I was doing that at my previous job, but I was a manager, and I was getting paid more, so I was like, okay, I can do that for more money. I'm not doing that for $8.50 an hour. And it was clear that they were not going to give me a raise. And right around November, Thanksgiving week, I took off, and day or two before I came back, my friend sent out an email. It was like, oh, this is Sunday's my last day, and I'm like, what? So it was like I came back after that, and it was like, everyone was running around like chickens with their heads cut off, and I'm like, I leave for 1 week, and everything goes to hell. And they never hired another manager, so there was one manager for 2 stores. She didn't like me, that was clear, and I wasn't going to be pushed around by her. So that kind of started me finding a real job, and that's where I am now, and it's good. But as a consequence, I do the whole 8 to 5 commute. My commute's about an 50-minute commute one way. Heavy traffic, 40 hours a week. So it's taking me a little bit of time to become accustomed to this new routine. So I haven't been filming every week. And I don't think I will be able to from now on. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. It might be every 2 weeks or once a month. I want to make it, I might do things like this where I just come on and knit a little bit and chat, and then have those half episodes, episode 6.5, and then the real episode would be episode 7 and 7.5. And I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Still toying with it. So that's that. And but yeah, so and this whole past week, I hardly did any knitting either. That's how wonky it's been. I used to knit for hours every day, and now I'm just I'm getting back into knitting, and it's really weird because I'm I haven't done any knitting for a week, and I'm ah. So I started knitting again. And another thing that's been occupying a lot of my time is that I found the season 1 of Teen Wolf on DVD for $10, and I bought it, and it's ruining my life. I haven't even finished watching the whole season, and I started writing fan fiction about it. Oh god, and it's so bad. And I just binge wrote one complete story about it. And that's never happened to me before. I haven't actually sat down and written something to completion before. Granted, it's fan fiction, but fan fiction is actually really good practice for writing. And I do enjoy writing, and I love it's one of my fantasies in the future is to someday be an author or something. And it kind of goes in hand with my anthropology goals. Anthropologists write books, and I want to write books, both fantasy and nonfiction. So this is justifiable. This is practice. That's what I'm gonna say, and sticking to it. So I finished one, and it was all consuming, and I was writing 1 chapter a day and posting it up, and people were liking it. It was really exciting. And then I decided that I wanted to write a sequel, and then I was like, oh, well, do you ever have those moments my fellow writers might understand this, where you're just like, an idea pops into your head and now you can't think of anything else that you need to do. This is the one thing that has to be done. And it was a supernatural and Teen Wolf crossover. So bad. Which got a lot more hits and it became a lot more popular than the one that I did the first. So that's been consuming my life. I finished that one the day before yesterday because I had 3-day weekend this weekend, President's Day. I had it off. So, and my parents were visiting my grandparents in North Carolina, so I had the house to myself. I could just like chill, run around the house in like my like boy shorts and just have the run of the place. And so I went to like 3 different coffee houses in the area and just wrote fan fiction and knit sometimes. So that's also been ruining my life. And all that accumulated was last night. Yesterday it started snowing, and I love the snow. I was like excited. I was like, yes, it's snowing, like real snow. Yeah, but I mean, like my mom was like, "Oh, you're gonna hate it now because you actually have to go out and like drive in it and commute in it." And I'm like, you know what? Whatever. I don't care about that. Snow is good. It's very unusual for this late in February in Virginia, so I'm looking at it as a positive. And so yeah, so I went to bed like 10:40, 10:30, no, 10:20 I went to bed. And I took a melatonin sleep aid. Because I was like, oh, this weekend I kind of stayed up really late and like I'm really tired, I'm just exhausted, I need to go to sleep. Like I want like a good night's sleep, I didn't sleep at all. At all. Like nothing. I closed my eyes and laid in bed until 3:21, where I got up, went to the bathroom, and then laid back down and didn't sleep still. And I know when I fall asleep. Like I'm a very like lucid dreamer, so I'm aware when I'm asleep. I wasn't asleep. I just didn't sleep at all. So I got up at 6 because I was like, I have to at least get ready for work just in case I have to go in. I didn't think I would because Virginians are really squeamish about any kind of snow, and we were getting 4 to 6 inches, which isn't a big deal for me, but I didn't look forward to driving with a bunch of Virginians who didn't know what they were doing in the snow. Especially since my car is like a little Volkswagen Beetle and it just goes like, kind of just slides in the snow. And then I got ready, I shoveled my car out, all this stuff, and I was so tired. Like, do you ever, like, you're so tired that you feel it, like, it's like a heartburn in your chest or, like, a queasy feeling in your stomach? And I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna, like, fall asleep behind the wheel on my way to work. I'm gonna, like, pass out. And I'm like, I was so worried, I was so anxious. And then I got the miraculous text message from the gods. We were closed because the federal government is closed. And apparently when the federal government closed, my new job closes. And I was like, hallelujah, there is a God. So my mom works for a bank and they had late open, but she went in. My dad had to fly to California, so he went off. So I have a snow day. And it's awesome because I got some sleep in. I got like about 2.5 hours of couch napping. So it's better than nothing. I'm still not sure why I didn't sleep. Like, my mind just would not shut off. I was obsessing over Teen Wolf Supernatural crossover fanfiction. So hopefully tonight will be better. I took melatonin, and if anybody's familiar with that, that's just like, it's like a vitamin almost. It's a chemical your body, like your brain produces naturally to help shut your brain down for sleep. And normally I take it and it takes about an hour and it just gets me like a nice smooth sleep. Like I have some weird dreams, but I sleep pretty soundly. And it's not like ZQL I've tried, that gives me some funky dreams. Oh my god, like I sleep but I don't feel rested because my dreams were so vivid and like crazy and like mentally disturbing that I don't feel rested. So I've been avoiding that. But hopefully I'll be tired enough to just pass out into blissful oblivion tonight. So yeah, so that's just some rants. I do have some knitting stuff I can show you right offhand. I started a shawl yesterday, and here it is. Just adjust it. It's a crescent shawl, and ta-da! That's the wrong side, right side. It doesn't matter. It's mostly garter stitch with some drop stitches in the middle. It has like a garter stitch panel here, and this part right here is like just a simple drop stitch pattern, and it's really nice. The yarn is this stuff right here. Oh dear, which direction do I hand in? It is a local hand-dyed yarn that I bought back at the Fiber Festival in September from a place called Puff the Magic Rabbit. I got this 20% off because I think it was like their last skein, and it was Halloween colors. See, my dad, I showed this to my dad, he's like, why is it orange and green? I'm like, it's not orange and green, it's orange and black with bronze sparkle in it, like a little bit of bronze stellina. See, you probably can't see it, but there is some bronze stellina in there. But yeah, it's like this orange, pale orange, gray, black, very like short little random spurts of black on there, and it's superwash merino wool, nylon, and stellina. So it's like your standard sock yarn base. And I've been wanting to like do something with this for a while. I'm trying to go through and clear out some stuff from my stash, like actually use yarn that I bought in the past instead of buying new yarn. Not that I'm stopping from buying yarn. I managed to buy yarn and buy things, and when I have no money to pay for them. But you know, that's what you get. So yeah, and the pattern is from this booklet I got at a yarn store in Alexandria called Fiberspace. Love that place. It's just a little hard to get to for me. So I was interviewing for the staffing agency, and it was just down the street from the place I got this in Alexandria, in Old Town Alexandria. So after my interview, I went to the Fiberspace, and I was just like browsing around. Within an hour, I got a call back from the staffing agency. They're like, we have a position open for you. Would you like to interview tomorrow? And I was like, yeah. And so, like, anyway, wrong. So the collection is called Seasonless, and it's a mini collection, volume 1. Jane Richmond and Shannon Cook. I believe Shannon Cook is the designer. And the design, what I'm doing right now is this shawl right here. And on here they have it where it's like a border edge one. And oh, hi Remy. This is Remy's butt, everybody. Remy, say hi. This is how cats say hi. They show you their butts. But anyway, so it's a collection of 3 patterns. Let me see. It has this really cute hat with like a lace detail, slouchy baby. It has the shawl, which is called Lay Low. I'm trying to so that's a good idea of what it hopefully will look like. Lay Low. Hello. I'm not sure about the contrasting color bit. I might do that or I might not. Depends on how I feel when I run out of the yarn that I have. If I do a contrasting bit, it'll probably be like a black or like a simple charcoal gray. Because Halloween forever, yay. And then what really got me about this pattern collection was this really pretty sweater. Let me see if I can find another picture of it. This looks really pretty. It's a top-down, hold on, I'm sorry. It's been a while. Okay, there we go. It's a top-down, seamless, put the raglan sleeves on waist yarn and work them last. And it's got just a nice, like, lacy rib kind of detail. And the whole, like, premise behind this is that these are seasonless. You can wear them anytime. Kind because they got like open lacy kind of light fabric. And yeah, it was $12.95, and I believe you can get this online as a digital book on Ravelry, and it does come with like a pattern. A digital copy of the pattern. Um, but yeah, like I really like the sweater pattern that came with this, and it's really cool because it gives you like this really awesome table of yarn requirements to sizes, and it gives you like a really big variety of like building custom options for a sweater, which is really nice. So yeah, I'm doing lay low from here. I cast it on yesterday, and I've made this much progress, which is pretty good, I think. Pretty good. And I'm knitting them on my new Carbons interchangeables. And I've been holding off talking about these because I've been trying to like give them a good test run um, over a variety of circumstances and projects. And I love them. These are awesome. Totally worth it. I used my like Christmas Christmas birth certificate gift certificate to buy these through my local yarn store that I worked at, and I got them about a few weeks ago. And yeah, they are amazing. I love. Hold on a second. Remy, entertain them while I get the plug in. I have my computer is dying. Okay. Whew. Sorry, I had to plug my computer back in. Okay, I'll move so you can see the cat. Right, Remy? Remy, poo. He really likes this blanket. This blanket, my mom hates it when I put it up here like this for the cats to sleep on it, because she's like, I have to wash it if you let the cat sleep on it. And I'm like, then wash it. We have cats. We live in a house with 2 cats. I completely forgot about my tea. This is just some chamomile sleepy time blend. But anyway, so yeah. So I've tested them out, the Carbons, and I love the tips on these. Like, do you see how awesomely pointy these are? I love pointy, stabby, nickel-plated tips. I knit Continental, and my preference is that I like it when there's no resistance to my knitting. Like, I can just knit. Where I have Knit Picks Interchangeable Harmony, and I love those. Those were my first like set of knitting needles, and they were great when I was starting out, and like I was worried about stitches falling off and that sort of thing. It was an affordable like first timey knitting investment, and I still will use them because it's always good to have backups of various sizes. But these card ones are going to be my go-to now because the tips are really nice and pointy. They're so smooth, and the shaft itself, it's like the right amount of smooth knitting to grip. Like, it has a little tiny bit of grip, which is nice because, I mean, it's really weird because I've tried when I knitted my hitchhiker shawl, I used Addy, oh goodness, what are they called? The nickel-plated Addy ones that are not, Addy Turbo, there we go. I used an Addy Turbo, and this is the first time I used Addy Turbos with a cable longer than 16 inches, and I used like the 32 or 36 inch cable. And the cable drove me nuts because it was so, like, it wasn't kingdom. What's the word? Like, it was stuck in its shape, like, and everyone's like, oh, if you just put it in a little bit of hot water, it'll, like, relax and flex out, and I'm like, no, I don't like that. Like, and it felt like it actually it's, like, the Addy Turbos are nickel-plated, but I feel like it has more resistance than the Carbons, like, in terms of, like, working along my stitches, and I'm like, I'm not doing this again. I mean, I'm not giving them away, I'm keeping the ones that I have. Like, for 16 inch, for, like, hat making, they were fine. I don't know. So, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so the carbons are amazing. I'm probably going to get the like DPN sets one day for sock knitting, but I love them. The cable, the only complaint that I've had so far is that on my other shawlette that I'm doing, like the Trillion shawlette from the Hitchhiker series, I started that too, but it's like over there, and yeah, I'll show you on a on the next. I'll show you next time, but the interchangeable cable for that one, it has a catch in it, like not. Look at this. Here, hold my tea, Remy. All right, so here's you got your interchangeable cable, right? You have your cable and your shaft and the join. You know where the whole hole is for where you insert the cable, the little key, and you can tighten it? Not on this cable right here, but on the other cable. It actually has a slight bit of a catch right here, and that's kind of annoying. I don't like that, but I think it was just because like it's just that one cable, and I mean it's okay. I can get the cables are pretty cheap, so I can get another cable. The needles themselves are fine. Like there's no catching. There's no. It's like super smooth, um, and I like the feel of it. Like the tips are perfect. The shafts are awesome. And the interchangeable set. I got the deluxe set, so the one with like the complete range. It goes from 3 millimeter to either 10 or size 10 or 11. I don't know. But it starts out, you get more sizes than with the Harmony. Like the Harmony, the smallest it goes is size 4. And these ones right here are size 3. So they starts out as size 2, 3 that you don't get with the Harmonies or any of the Knit Picks interchangeable ones, which is really nice because, you know, it's for fingering weight. It's good for like shawls and that sort of thing. So I like that. So carbons, 2 thumbs up. Definitely, if you like smooth, resistantless knitting, and you're like a continental knitter and stuff like that, you should invest in them. I highly recommend it. Or even like people, I haven't tried. I tried one set of DPNs and I like them too. These would be perfect for sock knitting, for like someone who has like some experience with knitting, like maybe not a beginner, but someone who's like, you know, you're growing as a knitter. You're like, I'm intermediate to advanced now. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Ah. And you want like big person needles? Go with the carbons. At least that's my idea. So that's that. I started that yesterday, and then I started knitting the Trillion lace shawl, which is part of the Hitchhiker pattern book that I got, and I really like that pattern. It's a 2-row repeat. It's super simple, and that's what I've been needing, like to get back into the swing of things. I'm doing something very basic. Like this shawl pattern is, once you get to the body of it, it's a simple 5-row repeat where it's like, you know, the odd rows you knit, you increase by 4. The even rows you increase by 2. Row 9 you do the double yarn overs, and then row 10 you just drop them and you just repeat. So it's pretty easy to like just pick up. As long as like I have my row counter going, because it says you do it to like row 100 and something, and then you can switch over to a color if you want. So I've just been keeping track with like a row counter. So, but this will be like my like home knitting / knit night knitting. The Trillion scarf, I'm going to bring that into like work, because it's I could do it like on my lunch hour. I get an hour for lunch if I want to, and I kind of have to because I'm being paid through the staffing agency right now, and I'm only allowed to work 8 hours a day, and I get there at 8, and if I were to just, if I actually was honest on my timesheet, I'd be working like 8.5 hours or something closer to like 8:45 hours. But they can't. No, they don't want me doing that. But like, I don't want to get there late. Like, I'm trying to impress these people because it's a temporary to permanent position. And right now I'm getting paid $13 an hour. Holla, that's like the highest I've ever been paid for anything. um, which is awesome. But if they like me and they keep me, I move to their company permanently, I get $38,000 a year salary. So that's not bad for someone my age. And so I'm trying to impress these people by getting there like before I need to be and leaving right at 5. So like if I when I put my timesheet on there, I work 8:30 to 5 and I take an hour lunch. In reality, I get there at 8, I take like a 15-20 minute lunch, and then I work till 5. So I've been trying to like test the waters of the place, so I haven't brought anything to do during lunch. That's why it's so short. I just kind of eat and then go back to work because they don't have any Wi-Fi. And I'm still like, I'm just so shy. I don't want to like talk to anybody. It's horrible. I mean, the people are really nice, and the environment is very chill for an office. Like, I've worked in an office before once. When I was in high school, I was an intern at my dad's office, and he was like a boss of this engineering firm, and it was so like proper office environment. Like, really, like, you have to dress a certain way, you have to act a certain way. Everything's very like formal and everything like that, and it just turned me off. But here everyone's like, yeah, you can wear jeans if you want, business casual, just don't wear sneakers. And like, I go there and it's just so chill. I'm like, this is unexpected. Just do like the girl who's been training, she's like, as long as you do your job, generally we don't care. I'm like, I can get behind that. That's my motto too. So anyway, so the Trillion scarf will be my like bring it to work knitting for lunch hour, so I can actually take like a little longer of lunch hour, and yeah, and also just out of the house knitting in general because it's a 2-row repeat, and like so I can just pick it up, drop it anytime I need to. So getting back into the swing of things, and yeah, so I apologize for not updating for a while. Also for having glowy face, snow face, naked face, bad hair day, I'm in my pajamas. But look, you get a cat, and he's so snuggly. Oh, the other one is, you've probably seen Cougar before, but have you seen him do this? You see him? He puts his little paws over his. Like when he takes a nap during the day, he does this. Because it's so bright, he has to cover his face with his little paws. Because it's too bright. So, yes. So I think that's where I'm going to I'm going to cut it off here before I rant more about things you guys probably don't want to hear about. I will definitely try to pick things back up. Stay tuned for regular episodes where I go into like the knitting and the book reviews and the makeup and everything like I'm supposed to be. Thank you guys. So I'll get the Ravelry group up more. I definitely want to do something with you guys and get to know you a little bit better. Alright, so see you later, guys. Just check it on the Ravelry group. My Instagram is Lianglan88, LIANGLAN88, one word. Ravelry, I am Noodlegirl88, NOODLEGIRL88. I'm not very good at spelling things out loud. But yeah, and there's the OhSheep podcast group on Ravelry. It's, come join. It'll be fun soon. I'll think of things to do. Alright, have a nice day, guys. Stay warm.